Welcome back, guys. This is my first attempt at a wild camp. I managed to find this lovely campsite that I've been at last year. So I found this fantastic spot by the river for one night, stayed here. But tomorrow I plan on setting off into their forest. The farmer actually owns it, Satterthwaite Forest or something like that. So he's given me permission to go off and camp, which is in England is a pretty big deal. You're winning from the off if you've got permission. That's one less thing to worry about. So a bit like all the other videos on YouTube, I'm gonna show you my bag, what's in it, and then take you with me on my journey. Now I'm probably going to call the video Wild Camping for Beginners, but it's me that is the beginner, so please don't judge what's in here. You'll see a lot of Caramore stuff and Amazon buys, because I was starting with nothing, so I had to literally buy everything, and I believe it's all okay, but I mean, you can pay silly money just for a tarpaulin. So like I say, it's me that's the beginner. I'm going to get things wrong. I'm going to show you what I get wrong, and hopefully this video sees the light of day and I don't get lost in the woods. I'll start with the bag. The bag is actually, I didn't realise, it's an airsoft combat with a K bag. Now, when it turned up, I thought it was a bit naff, if I'm honest. But I've changed my mind. I don't think it's naff. I think it's just a little bit cheesy. You know, there's combat written on the clips and things like that, but the material seems really strong. The zips are really strong because I've been packing stuff in there, and by the time you load it up, you can't really tell all that much that it is for people that run around shooting each other with airsoft guns. And also, it wasn't as big as I thought it was, which is okay, because with these bags, the molly bags, there's room for adding things on. So you just got to be careful that you get the same material. It's like Cordura 600 or something like that, and not the poly ones, because you'll have all kinds of different add-ons and things like that. So yeah, there's lots of room for adding and bolting stuff to it. But I was sensitive to the fact that you can go too far just bolting things onto it, and I'm going to cue a little picture in of a Glastonbury trip of mine when I was a kid, and the bag was above my head and lower to my knees. So here's that picture. Yeah, so as you can see, I still have nightmares about carrying that bag for the 2 hours from the car park to the pitch site. So I didn't want too many things bolted to it. Also, a bit like the little troll out of the labyrinth. That's what it kind of reminds me of. So I'm going to unpack this and then show you exactly what's in there. So now I've just got to put it all to good use. What I forgot while I was doing the run through of my bag was electronics. So in the top here I've left enough space for one of these second dry bags. I'm taking a power bank and all the relevant leads for my camera and things like that. I'm going to make sure everything's nice and charged before I leave, but it'll all be piled in there, waterproofed and stuck in the top. Yeah, us YouTubers yeah, need to carry that little bit of extra equipment. So yeah, these things are fantastic for that. You turn them a few times, snap them up in the bag, and then, you know, even if this gets wet, all of your actual valuables stay safe. I can't believe I'm leaving such an amazing camp spot behind. Running water, gas on tap, 4 walls, power, a bed. But I came here, I'm here to do what I'm about to do now. So I'm just leaving what I'm calling base camp, as cheesy as that sounds. And that forest there is where we're going. Right, so the plan is to walk up through the forest, probably 45 to an hour deep into it. Yeah, get off the beaten track basically, get half lost. See if I can make myself a camp for the night. My biggest problem is I can never seem to acclimatise myself correctly. Whenever I go out walking the dog, even without a rucksack, I'm cold to begin with, but get very, very hot very, very quick. So I got this jacket on because it was going to rain. Now it's not raining. That is pretty cool. It's not raining, so now I'm just hot. Which way? I don't know. So just this way. So I just climbed up this beast, and I'm still going. Probably can't see the incline of that. And if I was dedicated, I'd probably walk up it, put my GoPro on that rock there, walk back down it, and then walk back up it like you can just see me walking in the woods. But we'll see. Maybe maybe my dedication will grow. I don't think finding any wood to burn is going to be a problem. There's loads that's been felled into pretty good sizes, so it's just a case of breaking them up and getting them to burn because everything's sodden. I've taken my jumper off and strapped it to my bag. You probably noticed the pole. A couple of things I forgot to put in my preparation video, and it was my pole for putting my tarp up. I've never used a walking pole, I don't need one. It's well, it's good for checking there's a lot of bogs. It's good for checking the ground before you go ahead and put your foot in it, which is quite good. But this is for, I bought this in case I struggled to find a believe it or not, a piece of wood to prop my tarp up with, but that's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to try my hardest not to use this as far as making base camp. So yeah, the pole and my knife, my tool, the MOD knife off of Andy, and also I have actually got a map, which is just sensible. What's not sensible is GoProing, walking down mossy routes. There must be an easier way. Right guys, I admit I don't really know what I'm looking for. I found this spot and there isn't much flat. I've been walking for a couple of hours and I've not found any flat surfaces. But I found old Hadrian's wall there. It's not actually Hadrian's wall. And this earth is quite soft, very, very unlevel. But I'm thinking with a bit of perseverance, I could get rid of some of these overhanging situations. I could put some of these rocks, I don't know if you can see the angle, there's a massive divot here. I could fill that with rocks and then some further soft stuff, try and get a flat surface if I can. And then have a little fire area there up against the wall, which will kick some heat back a tiny bit. And then I've got this log. Oh, it's more dead than I thought it was. But I was proposing that I sit on this log, or I could actually make a little seat out of some stones. So I think this is home. I am exhausted. I built a shelter on top of a hill. I don't know if any of that footage makes any sense. I had it in my mind that I'd build a 3x3 tarp shelter, prop it up in the middle. There's nowhere big enough to do that, so I've ended up with literally just a lean-to shelter with a ground sheet. So there's no cover from the bugs and the ghoulies, but I set up a little stone fire pit there. So hopefully being warm isn't going to be an issue. I've just gathered loads of firewood. I'm just going to slowly start chopping up and getting ready so that when the sun starts to go down, I'm prepared. Got some firewood up together. I've got some on a bit of a conveyor belt going there. The little 2-inch round ones are probably best. I haven't got anything to split these big ones like an axe, which is a shame. And my knife just takes too much effort, so I'm just going to catch my breath and then I'm going to get a fire lit. In my head it keeps the insects away as well, the smoke. I don't know how much of that is true, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So get a fire going, even if it's just keeping the embers for me to feed it then. And then every time I get a bit of energy, just get up and hack some more wood up for the rest of the night. I don't know if you can see this. Hey, that says the words waterproof on them. They're lying. Feet were soaked. Just got my socks drying out. My trousers over there drying out. So this pair of trousers worked out really well. Very peaceful, you know. Very, very peaceful. All you can hear is the birds. I just pray that it stays dry because I weren't able to set up an actual shelter as such, like an enclosed shelter, because there just wasn't the space. I'm on rocks. Well, I'm on moss and mulch that's on rocks, so I can't peg anything. But made the best of a bad situation, I guess. Got a nice big ground sheet and I'm spread out all down the hill. Got no socks on at the moment because they're drying out. I have got a spare pair, but they're a nice thick woolly pair that I was hoping to wear to bed, so I don't want to get them too mucky either, so I'll just dry them out. They might go a bit crusty. Hopefully my boots won't melt. But yeah, so here it is. Got me wood over there, and I've been sat here chopping a bit more.
So it's the morning after the night before. Hey. So I was warm enough, and even though it pretty much rained all night, I was dry enough. But the slope and the unevenness of where I am ruined it really. Underestimated how critical sleeping on a flat surface could be in one of these shiny sleeping bags, you know, that material. And then on a ground sheet, you know, it's just like a slip and slide, sliding down the hill. So that was a bit of a nightmare. But I got a few good hours of sleep a couple of times before waking up. Dog kept me warm. Yeah, it's very peaceful. So I'm gonna make myself a coffee, I think, on the Trangia stove. And then have to think about getting packed up in the rain, which I hate.
All packed up, a little bit of ash. This is where it was, and this is where it isn't anymore. So, yeah, time to head back and then pack the trailer away. Sundays are for packing up, eh? What I'd give for a signpost. You know when you think something looks familiar and then it turns out it isn't. Started to really rain now. I managed to get packed up probably half an hour. But this goes to show you that in England, not necessarily the whole of the UK, because Scotland's a bit different, you're never truly lost. Dog ball. You know, this is someone's dog walk, or it was once upon a time. So I can't be too far away from civilization, my guess is. Probably recognise the trailer and know where I am now. I'm back. And it's tipping down. Absolutely tipping down. Apparently this weekend, come on. Apparently this weekend, it's been 24 and 25 in places. And I picked the one place that it's hammering down the rain, so once again the awning is going to go back wet. Have to be dried out when I get back. I'm glad I didn't put the room up. So it's just a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, I'll when I've got myself sorted and I've got myself a coffee, I will do a bit of a summarise, I guess. Because I already know there's a few things that I took that I didn't need. Yeah. So, a very eventful weekend really. I put the trailer to the test, probably more so than I ever have. To my test anyway, I'll tell you about that in a second. And I also tried wild camping for the first time. So so I do apologise if the two videos do lap over. So if you think you've clicked on just about the wild camping and you get a bit of trailer talk, and if you clicked on for the trailer you get a bit of wild camping talk, it turns out I kind of did a bit of both. The camping side of things, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was, I've never been anywhere so peaceful because there's nothing to hear, and also when the fire went out, I've never been anywhere so dark. Anywhere you go, you know, where people live and things like that, there's light from somewhere, but it was pitch black, and I mean couldn't see my hand in front of my face, it was that black. So
that was, yeah, that was different, and I really enjoyed it. Big mistake was pitching on a hill. Right now as I sit here, my back hurts, and it's only from the sleep. It's not from the walking or the carrying of the bag. It was the sleep, because I woke up stiff, and I kicked myself because the farmer told me you can either go that way deep into the woods or you can go that way, and there's some a bit more openness, and I was like, no, I want to be deep in the woods. So I would do it again. I wouldn't go to the same place. I'd go to the same campsite. I'm gonna do it again. So go to the same campsite, hopefully get that little spot down by the river. Loved it there, and then set off in the other direction where he's assured me there's woods, but also you can choose to be out in the open. So what I would probably do is be on the doorstep of the woods, so I can go get the firewood and create shelter and things like that. But yeah, not being able to set a tarp up like in a proper shelter style, like knocking a small tent up, and I was sliding down the hill, and oh, the dog slept like a log. But I yeah, big mistake choosing that way. There was just no clearance, no big enough clearance to make any kind of sensible camp. I was warm enough, I was dry enough, believe it or not, and I was happy enough, but I was not flat enough. So yes, you live and learn. I will get over it, I'm sure I will. But yeah, all things considered, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, the things in my bag, did I make any mistakes? I didn't want for anything apart from maybe a pair of gloves. Handling all that soaking wet wood. I mean, I'm a plumber by trade, so my hands are rough as hell anyway, so it's not about cutting them. I'm not concerned about that, even though, you know, you fear of infections and things like that. But it's more the fact that they get so covered in crap, and then, you know, you take a few baby wipes and you dry your hands, and the next thing you pick up is just... So yeah, a pair of gloves, that was probably the only thing I wanted for, other than some level ground. And what did I take that I didn't need? Probably... I didn't use the first aid kit, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't have taken it. That's something that you always take, but you hope that you don't need. But it is a necessity. I took too much food, I would say. You know, by the time you get there and you get a fire going, I had a tin of soup. My bread roll was horrible by then, so I didn't even eat that. And I took a pasta. I took a few sausages because I thought that I might knock them up, but I didn't. Yeah, so probably went a bit crazy on the food. I ate all the wine gums when I got there for a bit of a sugar rush, and the protein bars went down a treat. Because like I say, they're 200 odd calories, but good calories, not just sugar that you burn off kind of instantly. Oh, and the bedroll, the foam mattress, great bit of kit. I ended up using it as a pillow because that again was just sliding me down the hill. I wish I got some kind of footage to show you, or some pictures as such, but it was too uneven. So I think it's a good mattress. It blows up in a few breaths. It gives you a nice bit of comfort, and I did end up using it as a pillow. And it also blocked the side draft coming through, but it was unusable for its actual purpose. But on flat ground, I'd imagine that would be a nice little addition. So that's it really. Sorry if I'm waffling on, but that's kind of just summarising the weekend. Yeah, like I say, the next video will probably be maybe a bit the same again. So see you next time.